Welcome back, guys. So, as you can tell, I have all my shulker boxes packed because we're going to be leaving Pinerust. We're going to be heading closer to the city, and yeah, we're going to be building some fun stuff. Before we do that, I seriously want to make use of the Silverfish XP farm just to heal up my tools just one last time, and then we can finally get to heading out and build something in a new area. This is a bit exciting. We're going to be building in a new area, so hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. Okay, so we're currently healing up our tools. I was thinking of getting like another set of like pickaxes just for mining. Then I get my general pickaxe, then I got my mining pickaxe. Then I don't have to worry about healing up tools constantly because then I have 2031. So then if I have two pickaxes, actually one silk touch and another fortune, that means I'll have 4,000, 8,000 durability. A rough estimate, I would say. Alright, so I think all our tools are healed. Let's just see how much XP we get. Alright, we got 50 levels out of that. Seems like the XP is still coming. Man, it just keeps coming. It doesn't want to stop. It's so much XP, damn. Okay. I really got to make a guardian farm in the future, because those XP orbs apparently absorb the best, I think. Like, you get the most amount of XP through guardians. Since it's nighttime, we might as well just take the opportunity to, have our last night here in Pinerust and, sleep in our house. Okay guys, so we have finally arrived at our destination. As you can tell, it's a little bit outside of the city. So it's over here where the moss farm was built. And I was thinking, hey man, let's expand a bit over there on that side. Every area needs a proper train stop. So I'm going to be building a train stop here before we continue with anything else. Alright guys, so I have spent just I would say half an hour or something on this train stop over here. I was going for a nice little, I don't know, just a very quaint train stop, It's a very, stop and go kind of train stop, and it's not an area people hang around. Maybe there are some notice boards here, people can advertise their stores or stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very simple train stop I've built, and here's a view of it. I think it looks very nice. It's similar to the theme of the one at Pinerust. I'm trying to keep it on theme with a bit of it has a bit of a fantasy kind of style with a bit of a modern industrial twist, I'd say. Well, let's get to that area over there that we're going to be building at. As you can tell, we're back in this area over here. I like to call it the borderland because it's on the border between this 6-year-old terrain over here and then new terrain right here from I think one of the updates this year. The update before the Chase the Skies update, I think. I can't even remember what that update is called, but yeah, the update where they added the leaf litter and the falling leaves and whatnot. Don't mind all the stripped logs. That's all the trees I gotta chop down. I would say in episode 41, if I'm correct. Episode 41, where I do a bit of terraforming. The terraforming changes everything video. I built this moss farm over here, which is up and running right now. Yeah, it's producing some moss for me. I excavated a little bit here. This is a mine entrance over here. So what I was thinking is, come on, we need a proper mine. Okay, we already have a copper mine, which is nice and established. It's nice, we mine copper, but it's all the way in Pinerust. So I was thinking, how about we have a mining area which is close to spawn, but it's still in new terrain. So we can still, dig up the new blocks and the new ores and everything. This will be a very good place for me to mine a lot of cobbled deep slate, tough blocks. Yeah, a lot of that for the future. I think it will just make my workflow a lot better. So this build is not really just for show. It's also for to make things easier for me in the future when I need a lot of cobbled deep slate or a lot of tough blocks. Because I'm starting to realize I use a lot of cobbled deep slate and a lot of tough block. Just recently, I've just been starting to use it a lot more. I think I'm going to be using it a lot more since I'm going to be terraforming a lot. We're going to plop a building down here. And maybe, freshen up the forest around this building. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Every time people start with a project in their survival world, they always have a huge chest monster outside. But you know what I say? Chest monsters belong underground. That's why I made a whole underground room over here for my chest monster. As I say, man, chest monsters belong underground, man. They look ugly on the surface, so might as well just put them underground. So yeah, I already got a chest set up over here for everything I'm gonna be building in this area in the future. I might as well just use this storage area for everything I'm gonna be building around here until I have a building in which I could store all these items. But for now, I got this. I already have a list of stuff here I'm gonna have to get. The building is the main attraction for the video, but the thing that's gonna take up the most effort is the forest behind it. So yeah, I already have a list of the main resources I gotta mine for. So I gotta get birch. I gotta get a lot of birch. I already assigned the chests in which I gotta fill up the birch. So I gotta fill up 3 double chests worth of birch leaves. I already got one here. So yeah. And then azalea leaves, I have none. So I'm going to have to farm 2 double chests of azalea leaves. Then I'm going to need, I think, a whole shulker worth of grass. I got to chop down the forest that's up here. I got to get brown glass, which I'm going to be using a lot because we're going to be using mud walls for the detailing of the branches of the trees. So yeah. So let's get to mining those things. Cue the montage. I was mining some grass in the plains over there, and I just, made my way all the way across here to some very old terrain from years ago. As you can see, it's green here where all the crops used to be. Here's an old iron farm I tried to build. This used to be a breeder, now it's like a ghost town. I remember I built this AFK thing up here. I can't remember how many years ago this was, but it was ages ago. Look at this bridge I made here. This was to, I think, to transport the villagers into there. So when last have you guys seen this? This was in episode 10 of my series. I think this is the first mending villager that I've ever found in the world, really. Man, and look at this, the old crop farm. I'm thinking, while I'm here, I might as well just, mine some sand. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this area. It's very old. It's a very old corner of the world. 6 years ago I built here. So I'm gonna need the sand for some glass to make brown glass. So yeah, let's do that.
blacksmith. Very good, very good.
Would you look at that? The sun is setting. And yes, I have already collected a few stuff. I got all the short grass and I got all the sand. Now I'm just gonna have to farm for the rest. Let's keep going. I've just been farming away at this wheat field here. You know, this old wheat field has been here for years, but I still come visit this wheat field every time I need wheat because this is the only wheat field I have. And all the excess seeds I get, I put into a composter to get some bone meal, which I'm going to use to bone meal these azaleas. So then I can get some azalea leaves. So I dragged this out long enough for you guys. Let's get to building. Alright guys, so after a couple days of building, I have finally finished this. But there's one more detail I gotta do. Okay guys, so those final touches that I've done, hopefully it didn't come out too bad. But yeah, let's start with the forest. So I try to, you know, come up with a type of oak that's custom, but at the same time it still blends in with like the other, like the vanilla environment. I think this looks alright. It's a mixture of strip spruce, some oak logs, a lot of mud, like brick walls are used because you can like detail that a lot if you place like a brown window pane next to it, just so that the wall juts out a little bit, and then you can do a lot with that simple mechanic. If you look at the top here, at the canopy over here, I try to mix in a lot of moss blocks here so I can place down a lot of short grass, so it has a very bushy look at the top. Maybe the biome color is making it a bit too saturated or a bit too bright, but yeah, man, what you gonna do? I have some random dead branches jutting out as well, just for some realism. And of course, I did not forget some birds. I have a flock of birds in the distance. It always makes it look better. And there's a flock of birds over there. And let me show you something. If you're standing somewhere like on this hill here, on this mountain, I saw this huge, like just sticking out mountain. And I was like, hey, let's just put a custom tree on top of it. And I think it came out quite nice. Look at this landscape. I like this. I think it looks nice. Tell me what you guys think about it. It doesn't look too bad, I guess. When I started out building this thing, I was like, hey, man, this is the best thing I've ever built. But now I'm slowly starting to think, oh man, maybe this isn't my greatest building. I don't know. It feels too much of like a 2019, a 2018 Minecraft building kind of style. But yeah, but the highlight of this video is the banners. Guys, look at this. I made more detailed trimmings using banners. You know, diagonal lines, some lines that go down, some vertical lines. And I think it adds a lot of detail if you look at it from a distance. But I feel like it can't be the entire building. You still have to have parts where you do shading and texturing, just so that it doesn't look very like one-dimensional. Because it's hard to do shading and also place the banners. You know, I think maybe that's why a lot of builders don't use it. But I think this is a decent trick that builders don't use enough. Banners can add a lot of detail to like walls and stuff like that. I like this a lot. It doesn't feel like vanilla, but it is like 100% vanilla. And yeah, as I said in the previous episode, I want to expand out and see what I can do with banners and what I can get away with when it comes to banners. And yeah, this is what I tried. I tried doing the wooden struts and that, the framing and all that with the banners, and I think it came out quite nice. Of course, I got the mine showing that this building is a mine. And then over here is like a tiny horse stable for horses. Of course, I made those hay bales 2 blocks wide so that they don't hop up and down the whole time. So yeah, I just, I didn't know what to do with this area here. I think a building might come here in the future. And also, I might want to build a pathway going through this forest. So yeah, I was thinking, man, this is a nice, detailed forest. Maybe we have like a hidden caravan here for some wandering traders or something. Some pathways in here. It feels like a bit of an enchanted forest, I would say. If you look at it from the train station, man, it looks so magnificent. I like this view. You get to see the mountain there with the tree on the top. And then you see the flock of birds in the distance. And then you have this huge mining building and the forest in the background of it. I think this looks very nice. This is a very nice sightline and a nice view walking into a town. This is going to be a town. So guys, please comment down below. What should we name this town? I'm going to look through your comments and I want to select the best name proposition for this town. It should be based on the lore of this town. All the villages I tend to make is, tends to stem from mining because, the first building I'm built for every single village seems to start out with a mine. Okay, maybe to help you guys out that want to help, adding a name to this area. It sits on the border between old and new terrain generation. It's an oak forest, it's a mining village, but also a little bit stuck in time with the Tudor style houses. So it's a bit of like industrial mixed with medieval. Yeah, hopefully some of you guys can come up with a nice little name for it. I'm going to have a nice little board naming the town and credit the username of the person who ever came up with the name. So guys, it's that time of the episode. It is the commentary cut. This is the segment where I read through comments from previous videos and I reply to them in this segment of the video. So let's start with the first comment. First up, we got Zooch. Found your channel around 4 weeks ago. I love the simplistic nature and chill vibes of your videos. I would also like to know your thought process when it comes to editing your videos, mainly the small skits you do at the start of the videos. Well, how I come up with it is like whenever you start with a scene in a movie, you got to establish the scene. You got to set the tone. You got to show the viewer the environment they're in. You can't immediately just start with the story. Well, there are some ways you can. I think it depends on your vision for the video, I would say. A lot of times I just love to maybe just start out the video with a nice skit or a cinematic just to immerse the viewer into the world a bit more. Hopefully that answered the question well enough, I would say. Okay, yeah. Next comment. Next up, we got a long comment. This is from Angarieva. I don't know if I said that right. Let's read it. I've recently been binging all of your old videos and I'm so glad I'm finally caught up. I loved seeing your building style grow and evolve. The intentionality and attention to detail you put into your builds are really impressive. And I especially like how you first think of a purpose or an activity you need and design a whole functional building around that. Every time I build something within the game, I try to give it a bit of meaning because otherwise it's just going to be a shell of a building, You want the building to serve a purpose, even if it's a very minute purpose. I know you watch Hermitcraft and beat-ups, so I wanted to ask who your main inspirations are, both in building style and video style. We got a mind reader over here. I didn't know I watched Hermitcraft. So yeah, to answer that question, yes, I am aware of beat-ups. I do watch his videos sometimes. I don't watch it that much. I very much rather watch Ethos Labs videos. I watch his videos religiously. Whenever I watch beat-ups' videos, it's only if the build interests me. I wouldn't say I watch all his stuff, but yeah, he is definitely a good builder. I like him a lot. Beat-ups focuses on immersion. I also try to focus on immersion, so I would say there's parallels there. When it comes to my main inspirations, I don't have a main inspiration. I think My main inspiration is I want to build, like, I have a vision in my head of what this world eventually has to become. And I would say that is my inspiration. And that vision in my head is just a huge combination of subconscious inspiration from media, movies, art, everything I've seen up until now within my life, I would say. So I wouldn't say there's any main inspiration. I would say I take a little bit of here and a little bit of there. I don't take a lot from one place, I would say. Hopefully that answers the question. But when it comes to video style, I think a lot of my inspiration just comes from, I think, just films, like movies I watch, media I consume. I like movies a lot. I have a letterboxd account, you know. I write reviews on movies. Yeah, so I do like movies a lot, and I like making things look cinematic or epic or, you know, breathtaking. A while back, I was like, man, I really miss watching some nice YouTube content, you know, and it's such a shame that Etho doesn't upload that much. So then I was like, man, there's not really a YouTuber out there that I really like watching that posts frequently. So then I was like, let me just do it myself. Let me just make content that I would want to watch. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question when it comes to like inspiration and whatnot. It was a very long tangent, but hopefully all of you guys could have got something out of that. Next up, we got Gungnur. What is your view on the Elytra? Do you think the game is more fun without it? I'm kind of addicted to it, but feels like it removes much of the need for building. I would say it actually makes it a lot easier for building for me. So it's actually possible for me to build a lot more like large scale things because I use the Elytra, I would say 80% of the time when I'm building. I use it a lot. It comes in handy a lot. You know, there's a unique tool set you have when it comes to movement around building stuff. You can jump up and down. You can use scaffolding. That's a very elementary way of moving around and constructing stuff. And then you get your fireworks. If you're too lazy, you just firework out of a place or firework on top of a thing you're building. And then you got ender pearls. And then you got the happy ghost when you're working on something large scale. I think it's just another tool in the tool set of, you know, trying to achieve completion within builds. You know, I tend to fly around everywhere now, but I try to use it in a positive way for me to build bigger stuff so that it's not required of me to use the Elytra. For example, this railway system connects all the way to spawn and my base, and then it goes all the way to Pinerust, which is on that side over there. And then it also connects up here to this new establishment or village I've made. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Yeah, let's move on. For the final comment, we got Arthur Rec 06. Bro, what video configuration do you use in your game? Or mods? I don't know. It looks so beautiful. Love the vids. Thank you so much, Arthur. The game is completely vanilla. The only visual mods I have is probably like fog and then better clouds and then some render distance stuff like Bobby. The Discord is linked in the description, so you can join the Discord. There's a channel that shows everything I use, so you can use my exact same like setup I have for Minecraft. Alright guys, so that will be it from me for today in this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys also enjoyed the build. And guys, if you're new to this channel and you liked this video, please consider subscribing. If you guys enjoyed the video, comment down below what do you guys think of this build. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.